Hello fellow Harpeth River Ride volunteers. This little video is going to show you how to use the sweeper bike detectors. So first, a little background. In a group bicycle ride, the sweepers are the very last riders on the course who make sure that nobody gets left behind. Each of the 4 different routes of the Harpeth River Ride will include 2 sweepers. Let's call them Bike A and Bike B, for a total of 8 sweeper cyclists. In an effort to keep track of the location of the sweepers, we're equipping the sweeper cyclists with small transmitters. These transmitters are going to beacon the identity of the individual sweeper bikes all day long. Receivers in the SAG vehicles and at each rest stop will detect the presence of the sweeper bikes and identify which bikes are nearby. The hams that are monitoring these receivers can then report the location of the individual sweepers to net control. The system is very simple to use. Let's take a look at the 3 components. The transmitters, which will be carried by the sweepers, are contained within pill bottles. There is no user interface. We'll install a fresh 9-volt battery before giving the transmitters to the sweepers, after which the sweeper's identity will be beaconed roughly every 4 seconds. A 9-volt battery will power the transmitter for more than 24 hours. The 100 milliwatt transmitter has a range of about 500 feet or so, meaning that a sweeper bike that comes within 500 feet of a rest stop or a SAG vehicle will be detected by a receiver. The receivers carried within the SAG vehicles are small boxes with an LED representing each of the sweeper bikes. The units will be distributed to SAG personnel with a fresh 9-volt battery installed, which is more than enough power for a full day of use. The user interface is very simple. There are no buttons to push. Once a sweeper's beacon is detected, a corresponding LED will begin flashing. The LED will continue to flash while the bike is nearby and will stop flashing 15 seconds after the final beacon is heard. So even if a SAG vehicle passes a sweeper who's stopped at a rest stop, the receiver is guaranteed to flash the appropriate LED for at least 15 seconds. This should give you time to notice the flashing LED and take note of which sweeper was detected. Testing has shown that it's probably best for the SAG receiver to be deployed on the dashboard up near the windshield on the driver's side. This puts the LED squarely in the driver's line of sight. The LEDs are not nearly as bright when viewed off-axis. That's why we recommend that they be placed in an area where the driver should always be looking. The receivers at the rest stops are a little more sophisticated. They contain a power switch, a bright LED to get your attention, an LCD screen to display data, and a button that's used to review the data for each bike that's been detected. To operate the rest stop box, flip the power switch up to turn the unit on. The receiver will then go into listening mode, waiting for a bike to be detected. When a new bike approaches, the white LED will begin flashing to get your attention. A message on the LCD tells you to press the button to review the data. When you press the button, the newly discovered bike is revealed. A counter in the top right corner provides context to let you know how many bikes have been seen so far. With each press of the button, the next bike in the list is shown, along with an hours, minutes, and seconds counter telling you how long it's been since we last heard from this bike. Note that while the bike is still in the area, the counter will reset to 0 every 4 or 5 seconds as we receive a new beacon from the bike. After reviewing the data, when the button hasn't been pressed for 2 minutes, the LCD will revert to listening mode. Now technically, the receiver is constantly listening for new bikes, even when you're stepping through the data with the review button, so don't worry about missing a bike while you're reviewing data. If a new bike is detected, the LED will begin flashing and you'll be told to press the button to see the newly arrived bike. It's that easy. Even while in listening mode, you can press the review button to go back and see the data from bikes that were previously heard. That's really all there is to it. If you have any questions before the Harpeth River Ride event, here's my contact information. Before I go, I want to give special thanks to my friend Doug Miller, W4DML, for helping me to complete this project. Doug bought some of the parts, he drilled all of the holes with his fancy 3-axis CNC milling machine, and wired up all the rest stop boxes. Thanks, Doug.